Hello everyone and welcome to the Performance Racing Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio British Grand Prix with editor Callum. And that's because I had technical problems to start off the recording, unfortunately. OBS for you, it likes to reset certain things. But anyway, I won't draw on it any longer. Let's get to the action as it was live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Performance Racing Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio British Grand Prix, where tonight, short qualifying will bring the toughest test to be even tougher. You've got to get it right in one session, or things will go wrong. Now, this is where I will post editor Callum in the video and do the championship standings. In the driver standings, we have AMS Casper on top with 343 points, having got 5 wins from the first 8 races, very impressively. AMS Axel, the defending champion, his teammate second on 272 points, he's 71 behind. AMS Godwin in third with 257 points. Robert Snipes, he is fourth with 249 points as the lead on Alien. AMS Apple in fifth, seeking that first victory, having got 4 second places out of 6 appearances. Fuse Demon is 6th with 210 points. AMS Josh in 7th with 203. Misfits in 8th with 170 points. Massford in 9th with 128. AMS Shopee in 10th with 104. Service 7 in 11th with 103. Vivic in 12th with only 58. Andy Pitts in 13th with only 57 points. And PRF1 Clem, the league owner, in 14th with 16 points. A reminder that reserves are not championship eligible, but they do get the results and their points. As for the constructors, Sauber, unsurprisingly, with the drivers 1-2, leading with 615 points. 155 behind them are Racing Bulls in second with 460. Then we have Ferrari in third with 419. Haas in fourth with 363. Red Bull in fifth with 296. Aston Martin, they're sixth with 228. Williams in seventh have 188 points. Mercedes in eighth with 135 points. McLaren in ninth with 127 points. And Alpine still hurting from a lack of drivers, 10th and last with 60. A reminder that it is 50 points for a win and 20 points for a sprint, inverted commas, victory. Anyway, you don't want to listen to me waffling anymore. Let's go back to me waffling on the night. Meanwhile, actual Callum right now, because I'm Callum Hosty, the Season 1 PlayStation 4 Division 1 champion, taking you through the British Grand Prix tonight. We're currently on board with the triple PRF1 champion, AMS Godwin, as he heads into Club AMS Trappy. Our Lauda champion currently at 126.950 in the Haas. AMS Godwin sets a 127.295. Currently losing that Battle of Britain. We're against his sparring partner. The real Damon Hill sets 127.978. The Dallon Nest 3. Another reserve row. We also have Eva Sky 5317 as AMS Apple sets a 126.594 fast slap. As the Eva Sky, he's a reserve tonight. Big What's reserve. Tom's a reserve. ARC Jelly, he's a reserve. And that's Tom JM. He was blazing quick to Midweek Madness League yesterday. And he's showing up pace again in Williams. 127.198, not too bad. The Dalton Nats 172.4 in the McLaren. That is quite good. Now, Big Woods. What can he do? He's used all the deployments of those Italian horses. And that's 127.742. Okay. They got the first laps down, and it appears that the AMS guys, you can be up here much as you want, but they will still find a way to hold their way to the front. And are you ready for an all-natural lap back? We'll do that in a bit, because, you know, the stream started with no sound. This is what happens when you rush with real-life stuff. So let me take you around Silverstone with ARC Jelly NL. We'll go for a commentated lap as he sets himself through Club to get the best exit to start his lap. On the power, using all the German horses of that Mercedes, he comes down the Sir Lewis Hamilton strip and flat into Abbey. 20 minutes of scrub Saming Farm, and now braking at 75 meters or so into Village. And then, with no traction control at all, through the loop, that traction will be at a premium. And he said multiple lines there, and you can have a lot of action on cars and bikes. He's now gone through entry. He's hard on the DRS, heading towards Brooklands by the BRDC building. Slightly wide on approach, and then bringing the car in now into the field. A bit of understeer there, but he might be U-ing the corner rather than V-ing. And that did look okay, to be fair. Woodcut these days is very easy flat. Not the type of corner it used to be in the 1970s. Now into Cop. Oh, it was flat, but he scrubbed a lot of speed off. And that's a downshift. Here we are. Now into Maggots. Now going through Beckett's. And he will come out through Chapel. A lot of understeer there now under DRS. Heading towards Stowe. Under the bridge on the Hannah Straight. Breaking the speed trap. Chucking it into Stowe. But it just looks like there's a little bit more speed to come from that Mercedes and ERC Jelly NL. Down the Vale he went. And now into Club. The first bit and then the second. Yeah, the track control working overtime. That was one of his assists through the third bit of Club, and he says so 1:27.433. And meanwhile, MS Axel, you test for our all natural lap. Come on, defending champion, show us how it's done. And that's why he is the defending champion. So 1:26.507 for AMS Axel, the Swede. Going to the top. Now we look towards the other side of the Sauber garage. With the other Swede, AMS Casper, the championship leader, as Misfits has made it to the lobby to make it 14 cars. In the short qualifying session, sure, that's enough time for a couple of runs round this former Royal Air Force base used in World War II. AMS Casper coming through Maggots, and then Beckett, and then into Chapel. Can he do anything about his teammate? Can he hold him at arm's length? Bear in mind, his teammate yesterday absolutely... Oh, you don't want to see my steam. Absolutely dominated the Midweek Madness League yesterday in the Crown Jewel 100 format. This is only a 50%er. But let's see if that will change anything from going from equal 100 to realistic and 50. AMS Casper coming through the Fanabea Club. I tell you one thing, this could be close between the Swedes. Only half a tenth behind AMS Casper with the 1:26.557. Oh, mate, now we look towards AMS Godwin, the Triple PRF1 champion, double runner-up in Season 12. Can he cease to be the bridesmaid? He's got a shot at Fangio, and he won his first race of the season, a championship leader in Lauda midweek at Azerbaijan, and he got to P5. Can he ride that Azerbaijan double and use it to propel himself at the British Grand Prix? Now, here we are with Evil Sky 5317. Don't know anything about them. So let's see how they're doing. They're lifting through entry. That's a slight surprise. We'll see how they're doing after Sector 1. It's a 32.172. That is not very particularly competitive, especially if it was a full wet. Going very wide through Lovefield, almost using the British Super, and he's had contact with the Mercedes. He was almost in the in the penalty lip that they use in British Superbikes. What was he doing? This is interesting. We're starting to see something a bit more positive, but he just looks like he's got no confidence in the car or the gears up as he bent box. I'm assuming that is AMS Godwin. Has to be, because AMS Josh isn't here tonight. But he's only 3/4 of a second or so up on that 1:44.369. And this looks legitimate. He's not even using DRS or anything. This train looks like someone playing the game for the first time, and I'm not wishing to be harsh, but Aero Sky 53% is making Taki Inui look like Michael Schumacher and Sir Lewis Hamilton rolled into one. And he does improve, but it's only a 1:42.911. Oh, my goodness me. To be 15 seconds away from the next car ahead, the real Damon Hill, as he then goes wide into Village. And absolutely no clue. And I must admit, I don't think the drivers are happy. I can see what AMS Apple said in my Twitter. I can see that the Discord chat is exploding a bit. But you got to say, it was got 5317. This looks like someone trying to play a game for the first time. I think words might be said. I don't wish to be too harsh. That's AMS just says in my Twitch chat. McLaren's liability wants to have at least 3 quality laps, maybe more. For the finish though, he's on laps himself. But one thing's sure, this was real life. 107%, forget it. He won't make it. Anyway, we'll switch to the other side of McLaren, guys. Let's be positive. The Dark Lord 93 has shown some good turns of speed in recent times. Let's see what they've got for us as they come out of club and are ready to start their lap down the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. And here we go. Is it flat to Abbey? Oh, it's a slight lift into Abbey, actually. It's flat through farm. I hope that's just a slight breather rather than a humongous lift. Now, into the loop. Getting it turned. Very nice rotation on the McLaren. Missed slight understeer, but it did turn well. Through entry, opening the DRS. Now heading down towards Brooklands, having gone down the Welton Straight. And a 200 up on their personal best. Now, into the field. Definitely abusing that traction control very well. It's very obvious from what we're seeing. Shall we go on board into Cops and see if we can take it flat? Oh, yes, we shall. Slight breather and a downshift. But he's still looking very committed. Now into Maggots. And Beckett's. And then Chapel. Slight understeer there, as the car wanted to just stall wide. A couple of times I missed that at 93 after a couple of sectors. Now he does have a Haas in front of him. I'm not sure which one of the AMS folks that is. But he's giving it some beans at 93. He's definitely trying to strike everything he can out of that McLaren. Slight light for the first pickup, compromising for the second. And then putting in the power, heading towards the third bit of club. But he will improve. And it's P4 into the Aliens with a 126.927. Now it's AMS Apple on a lap. 4 second places from 6 appearances. What does he have to do to find a victory this season? He's putting some fine tries, including that Saudi Arabia Grand Prix where he just missed out on what would have been quite a victory with the first race of the Aliens on the soft tyre rule. With him now heading into Brooklands. Allegedly purple in sector 1 and a couple of hundreds up on his own time. He's only 87,000 behind AMS Axel. Just a couple of breaks in the eye. He can extract from that Haas, and he will find himself on provisional pole. Into Cops. The Haas is flat out. Then using the battery on exit to keep the momentum up. Now, into Maggots. And now, into Beckett's. He's looking recreated now, coming through Chapel. Yeah, done that battery. Not even using all the track, only using about half of it. And you know what? He's going to threaten these Salvers. I don't know what. Oh, my goodness me, using Swedish. But I know it's very close. As we now have headed through the veil. Now, into club. Wearing that Sir Lewis Hamilton helmet that he wore in those big Mercedes years. AMS Apple sets 126.177. Sending a message to those Swedes. And delighting the home crowd. What a time. You know, Misfits on his first start. What can he put in? That's a decent time straight at the box. 127.085. It looks like it's his only chance, unless he can somehow quickly boot it round and give it another go. Does he have the fuel for it? He does. He's also got a surly style time. Going from 2025. And now we head to Master Spread. One of the head administrators here in Performance Racing Formula 1. What can he do in the Aston Martin? He's not set a time yet. I know he's been busy trying to sort things elsewhere. What can he do? And he's one and only go. British driver. British car. Okay. German engine, Italian tyres, but we'll gloss over that. On the DRS. Under the bridge. On the Welton Straight. And it's a 27.522 for Sector 1. That's not too shabby at all. I've got to say, Master Spread is looking very nicely at home here on his one and only lap. Slight understeer from the Aston in the middle and exit phase there of Luffield. But what about Intercourse? Can he take it flat? It's a slight lift, but he's keeping his footing for the most part. Now here he is, into Maggots, then into Beckett's. And then when he comes out of here through Chapel, we'll see how he's doing. So 1-3-3-6-5. A legend of purpling Sector 2. I'm not quite sure about that. But let's just see what is going to happen. As he then heads into Stowe. He tried to give it a lot of flickage and commitment there. And he's invalidated. I don't believe it. Has he got enough time to get around and just squeak one more in? I'm not quite sure. 4, 3, 2. He will. AMS Acme will have spun at cops. What timing there? Meanwhile, we will now look to AMS Casper. He is a 10th up after 2 sectors. Has he got anything for his teammate? Looks like he might do. What about AMS Apple? Can the Swede find anything to upset the home crowd? Wherever they are in Northamptonshire or Buckinghamshire, around the track. AMS Casper, can he do anything? He only goes second. He only goes second, but he knows he's beating his teammate. And that's probably not crucial. Alonso beats Amos Godwin as well, which he has, because Amos Godwin owns Sector 126.491. Amos Trappy has just finished. So is Big Whoop. Who is next? I believe that's Tom JM. He goes second. And then it would be Axel, but we know he has retired. The Slippery Salmon has been validated. So it's a case of misfits. AC Jelly NL. They're the last 2 drives. He can take it off AMS Apple. What can Jelly do? Is the Dutchman going to put in Verstappen the Young S time to upset the crowd? No, he will not. It's PA 127.070. And I believe that's it. That's it. Meanwhile, Master Spread does set at 127.065. And it will be AMS Apple who will take pole position for the Performance Racing Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio British Grand Prix, and the crowd will go mad. We have an all-British front row with Tom James being second. AMS Casper in third. Doing what he needs to do. AMS Godwin and AMS Axel are behind him. And they're his 2 main rivals right now. So I think AMS Casper will settle for that. And it is AMS Apple who has took pole position, as we've alluded to, for his home Grand Prix. Tom JM, another Brit. In particular, English, he will join on the front row in the Williams, reserving tonight. He was mega quicker in the midweek Madness League yesterday. So, watch out for him. AMS Casper, the Swede, in third, championship leader. AMS Godwin in fourth, one of his routes to the championship. A 10th of the pie behind AMS Apple. Then you have AMS Axel in P5, a defending champion. And AMS Trappy, the Dialogue 93, ASGL NL, Misfits and Big Woods finish at the top 10. With Super Summer, Thread Devil Hill, Master Red, and Evil Sky, your final runner, albeit 16.7 behind. So, we'll see you for the race. Back in a few. Oh dear, it appears someone's already readied up. And that means we're going to have a restart. Oh dear. Well, back in a moment. Oh dear. Sorry, this is not the British Grand Prix. It's not the British Grand Prix. Amos Casper decided to drive away. Oh dear, I know I'm right. Bear with us, folks. Give us 2 minutes. Well, here we are. Let's see what side of the one is. As I will tell Sweet Freak, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? So, of course, Amos Apple, Tom Jam, Amos Casper, Amos Godwin, Amos Axel, and Amos Shappy are all obliged to start on softs. Because, you know, aliens, the $1.93, ESC Jelly NL, mediums, Misfits, the only one on hard. Now, he started on hard yesterday in the Midweek Madness League. Now, it turns out that starting on the hard, the prime type, does work on 100%. Not so successful in the 50 from my experience, but he might prove us wrong. Big Woods, 6-7 and Bale, they're both mediums. I'm aspecting last on soft. Appears that Evil Sky is split into Eva, so there's only 13 of the drivers taking on the toughest test that the F1 calendar brings. The biggest crown jewel of them all. The oldest Formula 1 Grand Prix of them all in a World Championship sense. 13th of May 1950. This is where Formula 1 all begun, and it is the only Grand Prix that a reigning British monarch has ever attended. But the question is, will one of His Majesty's subjects be the winner tonight? Or will one of the Swedes or the Duchy cause an upset? Or even the Spaniard? You never quite know. But there's only one way to find out, and that is here. Stay with us and watch the performance race in Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio British Grand Prix. And who am I to speed 3 to win? You know one thing, I reckon Amos Apple could do this. Could do this. He'll certainly be top helium, but the fact that they'll be basically forced into a 2? Don't know. I mean, I think a soft hard is doable, to be fair, but you're gonna have to play your cards right and save your tyres. You never know if it's a safety car. I suspect they'll bin the tyres and do 2 stops on the safety car. So we're waiting for those lights. Here we are. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and we have 5. The British Grand Prix is a go. Look at the start that Amos Appleton Gem got. Quite was, but look at Amos Casper going round the outside of Abby and into the lead. Overtaking the 2 breaks in the front row. Wow! Amos Casper taking the lead from Amos Appleton Gem. Amos Axel trying to follow his teammate through, and he's tucked up already. Will Amos Appleton is sliding down? I suspect not. Here he goes, hard in the battery. It's a Brooklands. Can he try it? He thought about it. Oh! I don't. Oh my goodness! Is he going to do Lorenzo Marquez? No, he's not. Oh! But here we are. Meanwhile, behind Tom GM, Amos trapping Amos got me fighting each other hard. But look at this Amos Apple's having a look into Copstone. Amos Casper. It's all happening here. Tom GM goes wide. That's going to allow Amos Trappy to overtake him. And that'll be a battle of brain that the English lose and the Scots win. Amos Trappy back to P4. Meanwhile, Amos Godwin, he's the next one skulking along. How long can these aliens make these softs work? Can they do the 1 stop? Or will they be forced into a 2? These are the question. I reckon if they do 6 laps on softs, they could just about do 20 on hard. But I tell you what, for Amos Godwin, he's pulling the pin. It's pure 2013 Indian Grand Prix. Choosing to get rid of the softest tire available. Almost like my pure choice on lap 1. But considering the chaos that's been going on, that wouldn't surprise me. But I do think we'll head back towards the front as we have Amos Casper being really closely followed by Amos Apple and Amos Axel. I do think Amos Apple is looking really quick. He's looking really menacing. Down the Wellington Straight they all go. The Swede, the Brit, the Swede, the Brit, 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 the Spaniard, the Dutchman. All the top 12 down on straight as Amos got his chosen to go on to hards. Is he going to double prime it to the end from there? I suppose if there's a safety car that Amos Godwin could be in a good position to set more hards on and take it to the end, but he has had notorious tyre wear. In that ladder race, yes, it's equal cars. He did have punches on both front lefts on both sets. Oh, but has he tried to tweak anything since? Who knows? But still, Amos Casper still has Amos Apple for company. They've all got frying pan units there in the top 4. But can Amos Casper use his Italian horses to keep the Haas behind? He most certainly can. But Dirty Air is just affecting Amos Apple a bit there. Through Storm and into Club. Meanwhile, Amos Trappy has chosen to pit. I can see the logic in that. For the Scot, trying to get out a bit of air. Maybe he's also reacting to his spine by Amos Godwin as looks like the Darlon naturally. That set a fast lap of the race. This huge DRS train, but will Amos Trappy's pit stop get Tom out of DRS range? You know one thing, he's got back in. And you can see Amos Axel nibbling there. Amos Apple. Looks like his Apple taking a breather. But look at the battery levels. They're all quite similar there. Been the AMS trio. But everyone's just so close to each other. This is such a fantastic racetrack for racing. I generally think it's the only real racetrack in the world which can produce some of the most epic fights on 2 wheels and 4. That's just my honest opinion. Other racetracks, like Kota, good for 4 wheels, not necessarily good for 2. That's just my opinion on that. The Sacred Wrestler Catalunya, that's good for 2 wheels, probably not so much for 4. If you exclude Spain 2025 and Max Verstappen's meltdown aside. But still, Amos Apple is still really close to Amos Casper. How hard can he push that Haas before his tyres? His Italian power units say enough. Being that far close to Amos Casper in dirty air. But the Sauber is harder on his sides than the Haas. And again, that's been proven. As Amos Casper, Amos Apple decide that's enough. Amos Axel, understandably, stays out. Having seen his teammate coming only 3 laps. And that's already been enough for the Ales. I should say Amos Trappy did get undercut by Amos Godwin there. I was being overtaken. I haven't quite seen it. But yeah, we are seeing massive spread. Now, he didn't have to start on sauce, but he chose to. I wonder if that's just a bit of pure strategy. Or was Master's gambling on a safety car, maybe? I'm assuming the aliens would have wanted that too. A bit more of a level playing field. They're all going to hards. The hards is the tide to be on. Tickle after half a dozen laps in a 50%er. As Amos Godwin has the fastest lap in P12, and he has overtook Master Spread in the pits. I mean, unsurprisingly, they were ahead for. And I tell you one thing, look at this. You've got Amos Casper, Amos Apple, and Amos Godwin, and Amos Trappy all in a train. Master Spread having a good seat in the house behind them all. Having a look. Oh, Amos Godwin has a moment of victory. Is that going to make him able to reach by Amos Trappy? Luckily, battery and DRS just keeping safe. Defeating the Scot would have passed the Englishman there. In yet another one of the battles of bread that Amos Trappy will be having tonight. But unfortunately, we have Plasma where we have no Northern Irishman or any Welshman or indeed women, for that matter. So, the question will be, who will win the Battle of Britain in the British Grand Prix tonight? Will it be the Scot or will it be one of the Englishmen? That's the question tonight. Meanwhile, Amos Axel, it's time to call it quits. So has Tom JM. Then Foss, qualifying tyre for the Aliens rule. As Amos Axel got 10 seconds speed in the pits. And was that contact from Tom JM with the ghosting model? I'm not quite sure, but that is not what defending champion needed. And it's Misfits who will now take the lead of the British Grand Prix. Amos Trappy has overtook Amos Godwin into Stowe. And the Darlon Knights just hanging on behind. The Misfits, the only one to stand hard. He must have felt that there was a lot in it. Because consider what happened in the Midweek Madness League yesterday. Okay, that was 100% in equal cars. This is a 50% in realistic cars. And it turns out the prime time didn't really work when PRF1 Clem, our beloved league owner, tried it. That strategy in the Lauder race earlier on this season, a couple of weeks ago. But it doesn't mean it won't work tonight. Besides, every race is different. Some things sometimes work, sometimes some things they don't. And I suppose in Misfits position, if you haven't got anything to lose, give it a good old go. As he now canes that Ferrari with the Max Beckett's Chapel section. I've got to say, that naturally was getting quite close there, but lost the line in ATS. Every time, meanwhile, has overtook Big Woods. I wonder if something's happened there, as we have the real David Hill and Big Woods find each other very hard coming out to Chapel. Neither the Red Bull nor the Ferrari have DRS, and it is ASC Joliet blasting by the way through wide into stop. Oh my goodness me, they're still going free wide. A Big Woods comes in a pair of them. Wow, sensational. Meanwhile, into club. And it's Jelly and Mill still going at it. Whoa, that was some piece of action between them three. It's still Misfits. Who is the leader? I will now flick this to leader. Because we want to see how it's going to be for the aliens. Can they overhaul? What's going on? Meanwhile, the real Damon Hill against the Acid Jelly Bearman. Jelly has damage to that front end plate. I wonder how much that's affecting that Mercedes. The real Damon Hill looks like he's very keen to overtake, but they've both got DRS. The real Damon Hill's going for it, though. I'm assuming that's to use the badge from the Red Bull, or is he just set up much faster? As we head into Brooklands. Not much doing yet, but he is there. He's reminding Jelly he's there. And with so much more downforce, I suspect it's only a matter of time, because I'm not sure that Jelly can get back in range of DRS1 Big Woods. But that might be irrelevant, because here we go into corner. Mercedes Red Bull going side by side there. That doesn't always go well, but they've survived it that time. That's the real Damon Hill up to P number 5. Meanwhile, only a few seconds behind him, AMS Casper still being followed very close by AMS Apple in their fight for the lead of the aliens. Wait, it's where we had to say this. Without being no thrall, but it's AMS Casper leading the alien class. Because weirdly, it's non-aliens in the top 6. You don't see that happen very much in performance racing Formula 1. But so it is today. As the real Damon Hill has finally took ASA Jelly and L. Although it appears that his Jelly that's chosen to pit. Because his front left looks absolutely horrible. That damage can't have been assisting. And that front wing does get changed on that Mercedes. But how did the cake tins get so dirty? What's going on there? I've never seen that dirty cake tins look game before, but now we have. And now we're up to AMS Axel in that DRS train being led by AMS Trap with AMS Squadron just hanging on. Can he do anything with that 10 seconds? That will really, really hurt. He will be desperate for a neutralization at the right time now, will AMS Axel, as he plods through Luffield. Meanwhile, AMS Casper and AMS Apple still going at it in one of the closest battles we have on track right now. As we now have sort of 3 strategies now going on. We have those who started on Sauce who have already been them, the aliens and Master Spread, and they've gone to hard. We've got those who started on mediums, still going, apart from SIC Jelly, he's more gone to the alien strategy, I suppose. Then you got Misfits starting on hards, the only one, but this will start to be the phase race where he has to start making hay with that degradation favouring. Meanwhile, Big Watts is chosen to come in. His front left doesn't look great either. That's not a great surprise. The front left is the limitation of wear on your set of tyres at Silverstone. And he puts on a set of hards. No, that's a set of softs. Looks like soft, but I think that's actually hards. I just think that's the red reflecting off the Ferrari mechanics. Yes, it's definitely a set of hards. I was going, soft, that'd be a very strange call. You don't want to do a two-stop, you can find it right here. Big Woods will come out in a very, very, very lonely P12 for now. It's still Misfits leading the performance race in Formula 1, Season 13, Fangio, British Grand Prix. Dalton 93, he's second in that McLaren. I don't think the McLaren's side deck is great, though, compared to that hard-shot Ferrari at the moment. So Cypri Salmon's front left doesn't look so bad in third. Real David Hills, he's scrubbing his hard in fourth. AMS Casper and AMS Appleman, they've already stopped once. They're just sort of millimeter close to each other. AMS Apple must be able to draw that Sabre already with AMS Casper's number 93 on. Is AMS Casper and Mark Marquez fan? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, looks like it's still AMS Apple. Is he just sitting at the moment, just trying to save a bit of battery and stick with AMS Casper and try and surprise overtake him? Still got this DRS train though, involving AMS Connery, Todd Joe and AMS Axel. And now we see the aliens try and make it to lap number 9, and they do. I don't know even why I said that. Amos Godwin doggedly trying to stick to his sparring partner, Amos Trappy with the DRS, but look at the battery levels. Amos Godwin, Amos Trappy as Big Watts got 10 seconds speed in the pace. I think he's calling it quits. I'm not quite sure why. That's a great shape. Bear in mind, you can't retire until after lap 13 as per PRF1 rules. Why should I always respect your league and check the league's rulebook? As Amos Godwin's just... He's hanging on in there. I do think, though, if he loses DRS to Amos Trappy, I expect Tom GM and Amos Axel will probably have him. And now, let's say second for Axel. They could be the saving grace Amos Godwin in such a situation. Meanwhile, as a complication to Amos Casper and Amos Apple's battle, they've now caught the Real Damon Hill. The first of those who started on mediums in that Red Bull. Real Damon Hill turning out to be a very, very, very good driver with good potential. Well seen. Oh, and he's gone wide, leaving Chapel. Will that put it vulnerable to AMS Casper into Stowe? Will AMS Casper try it? This be a key test to page by mind for AMS Casper when he retired on track during pre-season. This is where he lost full-time seat briefly and was on effective probation. So this will be a great test for him, and this could be AMS Casper's greatest day in league racing. By showing redemption by coming full circle here. Anyway, it's a Real Damon Hill into the pits. So it's a Download 93. It'll be hard to the Download 93. Now, you can just about make it to the end on here on one stop. But ideally, you need to go to lap 12 or 13 if you can somehow eke out the tyres. Lap 9 is a bit early for it to be ideal. But I guess we'll see what happens. AMS Casper still being stuck for AMS Apple. Surely AMS Apple is going to find a way at some point. I'm slightly surprised he's not already made the move. I've got to say that the fact that a lot of the non-aliens have pitted quite early off those mediums can only help them, because I think those who have pitted just now, that's a very vulnerable one stop, or why have you not done this sooner two stop? Anyway, it is what it is. AMS Casper, as he has AMS Apple behind him into Maggots, Beckerson, Chapel again. I think we have seen this Sabre and Haas this close pretty much all race. I mean, even pit the same lap. Has AMS Apple been outside Casper's DRS at any point? I don't think he has. He's closing in, but he just can't quite make the move. Meanwhile, the train behind with Amos Rapid, Amos Godwin, Tom Gem and Amos Axel. Nothing happening there. As Sec, we're just going to have to wait for tire degradation just to let Blake do his feet a bit more. But I think it is Tom who's now looking a bit more vulnerable to AMS Axel. I think he's starting to take slightly different lines to try and set up an overtake. It's difficult when you're both in dirty air bubbles. You're both in DRS trains. You got to try something different, and particularly because same age tyres for Tom and Axel, 6 laps. Amos Trappy with 8, Amos Godwin with 9. But that degradation here is just apparently not enough right now. They also have battling Master Spread and Download 93. With 6 lap delta on the tyres, I wonder how much resistance Aston Martin will give the McLaren. But McLaren just looks like it's just going to run range around the Aston. Same power units. Both British, but I do think Master Spread, this is a matter of time for him. He's applying the battery, but he's not going to make it too difficult for the Download 93. One of his good friends, and oh, he's handing it around the outside of Brooklyn into Luffield. That's an impressive move by Master Spread. Considering what happened. And here they're still going side by side through Brooklands. Into Corps, are they going to go side by side still? Oh my goodness me, yes they are. And that is 9 for the Down 93. Can he use Max Bex and Chapel? The tire advantage on the dirty air to just give a little bit of the break to himself. Not make some rumble into start from Master Spread. Yeah, looks like he's got that covered, unless things go horribly wrong. Meanwhile, Slippery Salmon, he has managed to make lap 11. So he's got a good chance of making it to the end on just one stop. Is Slippery Salmon the dark horse? Is it Misfits? Points Racing Formula 1, Season 13 Fangio British Grand Prix. What have you got for us next? As the Slippery Salmon leaves the pits on hard. I gotta say, when it comes to tyres, I think Slippery Salmon is in the best position. Misfits, I think, has to make it to at least lap number 14. Maybe even lap 15 to try and make that strategy of hard work. Oh, I do apologize about the yawning. Real life when you've been up early. It's just one of them. But Misfits is leading by 10.7 seconds over AMS Casper as AMS Axel has made overtake of Tom Gem, and I think there's been a moment for Tom because he's been overtook, and AMS Godwin has been detached from AMS for some reason. Has there been a little bit of contact there? All of a sudden, AMS Trap is about 2 seconds ahead of AMS Godwin. Don't know how that's happened. I think we've missed that. I do apologise. And I think AMS Godwin's vulnerability that I spoke about earlier is shown because his front left is looking decidedly very rough. But I did think AMS Godwin was going to be in a dead cert team. I think the pin on lap 1 was a slight clue. AMS Axel, does he make the move into start? Yes, he does. AMS Godwin tries to fight him on the outside, but I don't think he's tried to fight too hard. AMS Godwin, well, has decided that's enough. So is Tom Gem. Are they both going to go for another stop? Oh, they're both very aggressive down the line. Tom Gem doing everything he can to ensure he wasn't speeding. I'm assuming it's going to be hard again for both drivers. I hope they've remembered to pick the hydro allocation, if so. Yeah, by the pit crews, Williams versus Racing Mills. Yes, it's going to be hard for AMS Godwin. And it's the same for Tom Gem. He will also go into hards, and they both leave the pits now. Now, crucially, Slippery Salmon leaving the pit lane. Exit away at him, and he's only got one more lap on tyres. He's the one to watch, I think, Slippery Salmon. Keep an eye on him. Zal 93 as well. He could be his day as well. But can he get that set of hards to the end? He needs to look after that front left in particular if he's going to, considering he pitted on lap 9. And again, we still got AMS Cast being stopped by AMS Apple as we reach half distance. This just closed in somewhat on Misfits. I think it could be close towards the end between Misfits, AMS Cast and AMS Apple. Just depends how Misfits' medium stint goes. Assuming he does go to mediums, and Misfits is going round again. He's certainly going to make at least lap 14. He can definitely do 12 laps on mediums with lighter fuel. As the dial gets in the 3 seconds multiple warnings, that's a shame. Now, MS Casper is committing to a 2-stop. He is into the pits now. I was wondering if one of the aliens might try and risk the 1. Maybe not. Certainly in MS Casper's case, as well as MS Godwin's and Tom JM's. Now, I'm assuming it's going to be another set of hards for the Silver. Here we go. You bet you those sides didn't look good, but usually the front right looks a bit rough as well. And ERC Jelly's got 3 seconds multiple warnings. Oh, dearie me. We got Master Spread, Slippery Salmon to come through in MS Casper. So it is ERC Jelly, and Tom Jam's got 10 seconds for speed in the pit. I need to retire from the session. That is very unfortunate. I mean, that's borderline when there was 13 or 14 laps he had done retiring. I suspect he will get away with it. And then they were 11. Strange, because Tom was very quick yesterday in the Midweek Madness League and was a threat for the win, and he finished second on debut, claiming 36 points in the Crown Jewel 100 double points festival. But today, 0 points in PRF1. Surprising, bear in mind, you got points all the way down to 20th. Surely you want to hand it out. It does make you think, why do people just retire from league races voluntarily? I suppose answer the postcard, as Aidan Millward would say. And his Misfits still leading, and he's still going round onto a 15th lap. He's been looking comfortable in that Ferrari for some time now. I mean, what AMS Apple, he's choosing to go around as well. Now, he dominated the Lauda race here. Absolutely brilliant conservation of the tyres with great pace. Something that no one else could quite put forward. AMS Squadron had the pace, but the tyre degradation was just his savage. I had the good tyre degradation, but I didn't have the speed. Meanwhile, AMS Axel's going to win spits. And then serve that 10 seconds, so as Master Spread. But man, they're on the same strategy of going soft, hard, something. It's hard again for Master Spread. And it's hard again for AMS Axel. Who's going to come out ahead? Oh, did AMS Axel... Oh, there's lag there. Master Spread is now much closer, thanks to that 10 seconds of penalties for AMS Axel. And it's AMS Casper now. He's trying to make his way through on ERC Jelly. Jelly, low on fuel as well, we've noticed. as he's just bordering on the 0 laps of budget. Now, because Emma's can't do anything about the rest. He's got 2 last time adventure on Slippery Salmon, 4 on Darlow 93. But also, will the Hasses play a different strategy? Now knowing the Salvers and the Swedes appeared. What about the 2 Britons? Well, Amos Apple's going to answer the question because he's pitting. That's going to probably force Emma Trappett. Oh, Emma Trappett's going to come into it and he takes the pit Pollard with him. That's an interesting decision to double stack there. I'm assuming tyres must have been becoming difficult there for Amos Trappett, for him to elect a double stack. That is quite risky. Here are the Haas mechanics. They will fit on hard to Amos Apple. And Amos Trappett will then come in. Slightly held from the double stack. Lost about a second there. He will also go to hard as Amos Cass. That's a 129.786. Amos Godwin takes 129.661. There is pace in that racing ball. There's pace in Amos Godwin. And it's coming out very close to Amos Apple. Oh, 3 seconds for multiple warnings is happening to Master Spread. That is a shame there for the Briton. Even though he's got a Jamaican flag and races under one. I don't quite understand myself. He's a bloody Lancastrian. Amos Apple keeping Amos Godwin at length. That undercut very powerful there because Amos Apple had Amos Godwin nowhere near in his sights. And now look, the tyre degradation is high, but so is the pit lane speed delta. The question is, though, can Amos Apple do anything for Amos Casper? Because it's quite a gap now. As Misfits finally, on lap 16 decides to pit. So I'm assuming this will be 10 laps on mediums. Let's see what the Ferrari mechanics put on. It's going to be mediums on the number 89 Ferrari. And away he goes. He will concede the lead. But tell you one thing, looking at that, he is going to be close with AMS Casper, and he's going to be on a fresher compound, fresher and softer. This is going to be close. Where's Misfit's going to come out? He disengages the speed limiter. He's going to be very close with the Sauber. The Sauber's coming, but he has managed to stay ahead of AMS Casper. Have we got a new favourite for this race? Can AMS Casper do anything? He has a worse car. Oh, the tyres, but the degradation can only have a favour in being on hard. He's going to have to make the move soon. But it is the same Italian horse in the Ferrari and the Sauber as AMS Axel overtakes Jelly as Jelly leaves the pits. Anyone want to call this former resident Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio British Grand Prix? As AMS Apple has now overtook the real Damon Hill, legit, the P number 5. And Amos Godwin, meanwhile, uses the extra traction from younger tyres and takes P6 off the real Damon Hill. Okay. This is intriguing now. Misfits, Amos Casper catch. Pepper Salmon Nadal on 93. This is quite close. I gotta say, Pepper Salmon's only a second and a half. Look, the top 4 in the picture. And you can see other aliens skulking behind. This is going to be interesting. Who's going to win here? As we head towards 9 laps to go. The Dalmax Reed does have those 3 seconds of penalties. Will he end up ruining this? Slippery Salmon has been caught here. Those mediums and Misfits, he's got to look after them and keep Amos Casper a bit and cut through Slippery Salmon and down 93. But he's going to get their DRS now. Slippery Salmon, that might help him with Amos Casper. If things get played right, you never quite know what can happen. I'll say that Fry's looking real good to him. Extending Haas that long. He might just bought himself the delta that PRF1 Clem failed to do in the Lauda race a few weeks ago. Misfits cooking, saying Speedbreak. He is. He's had a very good hard side stint. He felt that the Midweek Madness League Crown Jewel 100 event yesterday gave him a lot of good practice and good running. He was very consistent. He was very extraordinarily good. And in equal car as well, so there's no room to hide there. Can he translate that in PRF1? Okay, so different kettle of fish going from an equal Sauber to a realistic Ferrari. And with half the distance and double the wear. But now, these are Slippery Salmon and Misfits are on the verge of Getting to that 3-second range that the down 93 has. This is getting interesting. Also, the net lead is going to Slippery Salmon now. But here comes Misfits. Can he do anything about the Spaniard? Not quite yet. AMS Cast just falling back a bit. Maybe shooting to save his size, bide his time. Knowing he's got the tire advantage over Slippery Salmon permanently, as Jelly gets another 3 seconds and multiple warnings. But look at Misfits. He's got so much traction coming through Club. Jelly's not going to have a look into Abby. I think it's just going to sit here behind Slippery Salmon on the, Sir Lewis Hamilton Straight. Wellington Straight, that's to come. But I suspect that's where the next time Slippery Salmon's going to come. Well, Misfits going to come. Oh, look. Almost being nudged into the loop. And I do think that Mercedes is about to flounder down the order. As Misfits is really close. But look, he's still stuck. How has he not took advantage there and just try to just not... Very surprised. I thought Misfits would easily have that. That was his chance to try and make the move on Salmon and try and do something about AMS Casper, try and build a gap. He's got to use these mediums before the deck starts to favour those on hard. He's got to make this move soon. He can't be too conservative. Citri, there's a race win on the line. They're all in Dark Lord's 3-second penalty window. So I think Misfit's going to make a move. He's going to have to do it soon. But Salmon is trying to harvest back with the all going to go. But look at the extra grip that Misfits has coming through Chapel. As episode goes defensive on the road. Hannah straight. But it's not enough. So this Misfits goes round the outside to take second. And meanwhile, AMS Casper looking close. Can he make a move into Club? No, he can't. He will need to clear Slippery Salmon as quickly as he can. Try and get in the case of Misfits. And the Dallar 93 moment, AMS Apple is going to be closing in with those fresher tyres. And if Slippery Salmon gets DRS on Misfits, that could be something. Meanwhile, the Real Devon Hill's chosen to pit. Yes, Salmon did get DRS off AMS Cast. This is going to frustrate the Swede here, because that's going to allow the Mercedes to have extra airline speed. But look at the traction difference. Trying to get around the ends, inside of the entry almost. Can the Spaniard do anything? He's going to try. Keep the Swede behind. And you know what? He does. The Swede thought about it, but not so much doing. As the AMS Casper tries to find alternative lines through Luffield, but Slippery Salmon covered it off well. But he's left the door open through Woodcock. I think that's going to allow the inside landing to cost AMS Casper. And I think Slippery Salmon's had to concede there. Here's the interesting thing. But the Slippery Salmon's going to try and come back on the Swede. Unbelievable. Slippery Salmon making it difficult for AMS Casper. There is a nudge through Maggots and Beckett's. This is only helping Misfits so much. And he himself has now got himself in DRS range of the Dallar 93. It's meetings, by the way, Thrill Damon Hill as AMS Casper eventually captures Slippery Salmon. This has got to be an overtake very quickly by Misfits. AMS Casper is only going to come on. But Slippery Salmon is still giving AMS Casper grief. And AMS Apple's now joining that party. This is cooking really nicely. There are 4 drives you can realistically win this. Maybe the down 3. If something happens dramatically, could be the one to steal it all under the noses of Misfits. AMS Casper, Slippery Salmon, and AMS Apple. Salmon has Apple all over him, but I think we're going to have to look towards the front. Because here we are, Misfits underneath the down 93, through the loop, takes the lead. But the down 93 tries to hand it around the outside of entry. But I think with DRS, it's a foregone conclusion. And with nearly 3 seconds on AMS Casper, as this Misfits time finally at last to get a marker down. To tell you something, he has played the strategy superbly. Yes, the aliens are constrained, and you may have your thoughts on that. I have my own. But you can only find the situation you're in, and he has been fantastic, Misfits today. He has shown the league on PRF1 Club how to do hard medium. And guess who's been reunited? AMS Casper and AMS Apple. It's like we've only seen these two together. Are we destined for a 5th second place at AMS Apple if you can do anything about AMS Casper? But it's all the 3 tenths between the Swede and the Briton. Will Apple take his chance into Star? AMS Casper, meanwhile, he's off at cops. As AMS Casper, his teammate, loses position to AMS Apple. Oh, but Aaron's got hands on the outside of Star. Try to take around the inside of first Bear Club. I think AMS Apple's got it covered. He played that beautifully and takes P3, which could be a net P2 after penalties. The defending champion, what's happened to him, by the way? He's got enough front wound. I wonder what's happened to Amos Axel there. I take it he's just going to come in and collect points. He's got to stay in this for his championship battle. I know to win that title, he must collect the points. Oh. Anyone want to call the race yet? As Amos Apple tries to break Amos Casper and set after Misfits. Only 1 lap delta between those sets of ties, but the meetings will be Deggy more, so I suspect Deg can only be favouring the... I'm going to say the Brit, but they're both British and they're both English as well. And Apple somehow decided to take the car for a walk on the exit of Woodcut. I'm not quite sure what, how or why. But there's 4.5 laps left. Can Amos Apple do anything about Misfits? Can he keep Amos Casper at base? Finally overtook him. Can he make hay now? It's just a bag, dare I say, the Dark Lord. That will at least allow him to keep Amos Casper at arm's length. Slippery Salmon still staying with the group. As Amos going to Amos Apple will eventually close in. Gotta say, I do think Misfits size are starting to struggle a little bit as Amos Apple is starting to close in. It all depends. Can Amos Apple clear the Dark Lord quickly? Misfits did it really quickly. I mean, flashing advantage out of the loop, you don't see that happen too often. Cars or bikes. 2.5 seconds there is Amos Apple and the Misfits. With Amos Casper and Slippery Salmon in close proximity. In that train, in the battle for silver. But this is where Amos Apple has to take his chance. He thinks about doing the same thing Misfits does, but he just didn't quite have the same overspeed. But yes, it's a foregone conclusion. The Dollar tried to make it difficult, but he's going to have to accept sinking to P3, at least on the road for now. Amos Casper, meanwhile, he will be frustrated. Every time we got 3 seconds to multiple warnings. Oh, that's going to be a get to the down and 3. 2. Understeer through Luffield, and Amos Casper takes advantage. Now we have 3.5 laps to go. Can Amos Apple break his duck and Misfits finally get a win? Meanwhile, Amos Apple has seemingly spun at the exit of Chapel, and he's still spinning. Oh, and he's reset to track. Oh my goodness me. And now he's going to be a fact for the leaders, because the leaders are coming. Oh, there's horrible oversteer that I think those rear tyres are absolutely shredded. And the defending champion comes into the pits. 10 seconds about to speeding in the pits. I take it he's just wants to get this done as quickly as possible. And he's going to go a lap down. The defending champion, a lap down. Meanwhile, Slippery Salmon is out at the down on 93. The bottom 3 seconds of penalties. And that's a spanging up to P4. With Amos going down with Strappy closing in. Can they hold on? Is it doing? Meanwhile, Amos Apple only 1.5 now behind Misfits. Because say both their front lefts are looking second rate. But I tell you one thing, it's Misfits that's looking in bad shape, considering they'll probably be about equivalent now. And Amos Casper there in third. I've got to say that Amos Casper, he's doing what he needs to do, championship wise. Even if this turns out to be win the races where he doesn't win this season, and it becomes 5 races out of 9 rather than out of 8. MS Godwin is behind him. His teammate MS Axel is struggling in 11th and a lap down. Well, MS Axel will probably score the fastest lap point, and that's the way it's going to be. We're going for that fastest lap attempt. I do think that Amos Casper is having a good day in the championship. It's all the Amos Apple in front of him, and it will just be edging closer at best. Unless Amos Apple can usurp his fellow Englishman and break Misfits. Heading towards 2 to go. That house is getting tantalisingly close, but I think Misfits has just held the gap just about this time. As we now go towards 2 to go. We've got 2 fire-powered Britons, but who will it be to win? Misfits for Amos Apple. Amos Casper's is losing touch now. As the Dallas every salmon resuming the battle. Looks like the Dallas got ahead. But here come the sparring partners of Godwin and Trappy. They're getting within range of the down 93 and every salmon. That might be 2 free positions for the pair of them, as they have their own Battle of Britain. as they spar between each other. Also, Amos Apple's now getting within that second. Simply Samuels overtook the Talon again as they switch positions again. Amos Godwin's front left, by the way, it looks horrible. Can he hold on as he is getting nightmares from the ladder? Look at Amos Trappy trying to do the up and under. Trying to getting GP movers model. The Lorenzo and Marquez from the 2013 British Motorcycle Grand Prix being pushed by Amos Trappy practically into cops. I'm just keeping down the lead, by the way, because I think Amos Apple did get DRS range in the other half. I think the Delta, the way it's dropping, is suggesting that is the case. But also, Amos Godwin's got a decent exit there, and used the dirty air at the exit of Chapel, and keeping Amos Trappy behind. And yes, the sparring partners are still going to stay in positions. Also got a factor of Candy getting Salmons and Dark Lords penalty range by the end. But we got to look towards Lee Bartley. It's the final lap, and he's only about 6 or 7 tenths between Misfits and Amos Apple. Can Misfits hand on? Or can Amos Apple steal this from absolutely nowhere? With the alien BOP on the batteries, they're quite equal. They've both got 5 PUs as Amos Axel unsurprisingly sets the FL. Mitchell gets a poor run coming out the loop at entry. Is this going to be the big famous Apple to take the lead? Yes, it will. Can Misfits do anything? He tries to round the outside of Brooklyn, and he's going to have the inside of left field. Oh, he can't quite make it happen. Are those options just starting to die? Prime's the one you want to be on. As Amos Apple now takes the lead, but this won't be done yet. I don't think Amos Casper won't be there to mop up the pieces. But the home crowd are being treated here. Misfits goes wide through Cops, but he is very, very close to Amos Apple. He just needs a good sequence of corners, and he might just take the lead, the win off Amos Apple. Here we go. Here we go. Can Misfits made the move? He's half a second behind. I'm not quite sure. Will he try into Club? Because he's not going to make it into Stowe. Here we go. Here we go. Can Amos Apple pull it off? It looks like he has. As he now heading to Club. Misfits, so close, but so far. Finally, it will be Amos Apple who wins in PRF1 in the Season 13 Fangio division. Well, he wins the British Grand Prix. He wins his home race. No longer the bridesmaid in the Fangio event. Amos Apple has finally won. And he's won the biggest one of them all. Misfits, a very, very valiant second place and very hard luck there. It's Amos Axel spins across the finish line. Amos Casper third. He'll be disappointed, but in terms of the championship, that's been a good day for him with Amos Godwin and Amos Axel both having lowly finishes behind. So I don't think the Swede will be too disappointed on balance. I know I wouldn't be in his situation. You can't win them all. And it's what you do when you don't win that matters. And if he's going to keep mopping up podiums, Amos Casper, I still think he's a great job. But Amos Apple finally wins in Fangio, and he lifts the RSC trophy. And what an experience he has had. He's finally made it happen, Amos Apple. Been a long time coming in Fangio, but he's finally made it work. And now, can he set on a championship charge after this? Driver of the day, apparently, was Cyprian Salmon. A very good day from the Spaniard, as we said. But it was Amos Apple who won the British Grand Prix from Misfits. It was Amos Casper in third, Cyprian Salmon in fourth, Amos Rappy P5, Amos Godwin P6, Dark Lord 93 P7, Issa Gillette NL P8, Will Damon Hill P9, Master P10, and last and laid up, Amos Axe 11th, with Tom JM and Big Woods, your non-finishers, and whoever was in the other McLaren being a DNS. Wow. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. What a British Grand Prix that was. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This circuit never fails to deliver. I love it around here. And Amos Apple is saying, come on in my Twitch chat. And I tell you one thing, he will be delighted. I know. Winning a British Grand Prix as a British driver is sweet. I've done it 4 times before. I hope Amos Apple is enjoying having made it, at least here in PRF1. Well, I've been Callum Hosty. I will see you next week. I should probably remind myself where we're racing because I might want to advertise. Oh, it is one of the crown jewels. Now that France is like, it's Singapore, bring it on. Singapore, one of my personal favourites. I'll be there. Will you be there? I'll see you soon. Ta-ra!